We've got another new member of the Kevolution. Thank you very much to Daniel Simpson for supporting the channel on Patreon. Your support is much appreciated. Welcome to this very exclusive club aboard the party bus. If you too would like to get involved in the Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/Lollujo. Thank you very much for your support, everybody. Now we have to play Man United and Real Madrid. Oh, you wait until you see our Champions League group, seriously. Hello and welcome to Season 18, Part 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we played two of the biggest clubs in the world. And it's going to be this is going to be the story up until Christmas, really. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. This is what's happened since you were last with me. Just the one game. We beat Southampton in the Premier League. And then we got our Champions League draw. If we just have a look at this group. Real Madrid. Not sure if you've heard of Real Madrid. Just to recap, they have won the Champions League 11 times. That's Real Madrid. They're in our group. Also in our group, if we can ever make it back to our group, also in our group, we have Borussia Dortmund. Not sure if you're familiar with their work, so let's just have a little look. They've won the Champions League just twice, including last season. We've got the holders of the Champions League in our group. And then just to round things off, at least there's an easy game. We've got Angers. Yeah, they, I guess, have been taken over by some kind of billionaire. Look at this meteoric rise. They finished second in the French league last year. They're top. Oh, sorry, they were top when the draw came out. They're down to fifth now, but they've got piles of cash, money to burn. I mean, look, they're spending money almost as quickly as we are. But, I mean, they're not going to be an easy game. For the French league, they're throwing a lot of cash around. And they're right up there competing with Paris Saint-Germain at the top of the French league. So I think it would be an achievement if we make it into the Europa League knockout rounds. I think surely we have to rule out any possibility of getting out of this group in staying in the Champions League. We're not going to make it past Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. One of them maybe would have been doable. Both of them has got to be impossible. If we can finish third in the group and make it into the Europa League, I don't think that will be a disaster. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. So, before we get into the Real Madrid game, which is going to be a big test of where we stand at the moment, we first have to navigate Manchester United in the Premier League. This is a Man United, remember, managed by Pep Guardiola, who turned up last year after this happened. After years and years of dominance under Jose Mourinho, they won the Premier League, but then he got sacked before having a chance to finish defending it. United finished fifth. We pipped them to the post, thanks to Brentford. And they missed out on the Champions League for the first time in, I mean, it must be 25 years. Mate, 20 years maybe. Who knows? When would have been the last time? Then. So, 20 years, 18 years. It's a long time to be without, to be relying on Champions League football for. So they're going to be out for revenge because we're the team that pipped them to the post. And they'll also want to soften us up for Real Madrid, no doubt. So this is going to be the team that we're going to play to try and take them on. We've got Diaz in goal because, oh yeah, did I mention our £50 million goalkeeper's injured? Igor's out for 4 to 6 weeks with a dislocated shoulder. He's going to miss Man United. He's going to miss Real Madrid. He's going to miss Dortmund. Good job we didn't sell Diaz in the summer when Man United were desperate to try and get him off us. It does mean Kevin Thompson makes it onto the bench, which is the first time in a good long while. Our back four is Hansel, Plotnikov, Eriksson and Undai. Then we've got Sedman, Wagner and Ziyech in midfield. I know we shouldn't be playing Wagner as a defensive midfield player. What's our other option? Alfie Welch, Anicic maybe. None of them really play well there. And Wagner, if we don't play him in that position, doesn't get in the team at all. And I think he's too good to not be in the team at all. Then we've got Kalaskan in behind Ijo and Sedlacek. I have been told I'm saying Kalaskan's name wrong. I'm never going to be able to say it right. If it's going to bother people that I'm saying it wrong, we'll have to just call him Oscar and leave it at that. Because I'm probably saying that wrong as well. It's a complicated name. I can't get my mouth around how to say it properly. But we're hoping that our two goal-scoring heroes from last year, Ijo and Sedlacek, can get off the mark today because 4 games in, neither of them have scored a goal yet. And it's all been coming through Vendrig so far, and he will be feeling a little bit hard done by to be on the bench against his old club, Manchester United. So let's get into the game. We kind of need a win today to stay in touch. I know it's very early days in the season, but we're dangerously low down that league table. I know it doesn't really mean anything yet, but we don't want to drift too far down there. I'm also hoping that we can catch an under pressure Pep Guardiola. He very much is in the early days of trying to build a Manchester United team in his image. He was at Man City for a long, long time, did very well there, multiple Champions League wins, but couldn't get Stoke performing his way. This can only be like his 10th game at United, because Mourinho was sacked Easter time, so Guardiola's not had very long here at all. They are top of the league at the moment, so they're ahead after less than a minute at our place. So perhaps they are playing his way. I was hoping they might not yet be comfortable doing it Guardiola style after so long under Mourinho, but obviously that's not the case. They're top of the league. They're 1-0 up after less than a minute. They're going to make us look silly today, aren't they? And we're going to go into that Real Madrid game devastated. I'm also a little bit concerned. We've just come off an international break and all of our players have come back at like 90% fitness. Look at them. They're 6 minutes in. They're all struggling already, with the exception of Sedlacek and Diaz, presumably because they didn't play internationally. But the rest of them are all absolutely shattered. We're playing Man United today, Real Madrid 3 days later. How on earth, when you get to this level, are you supposed to keep players fresh? It is absolutely insane, and I think is going to be a big problem for squad size for us, because although we've got a lot of players, we only really have maybe 14 or 15 who you'd be comfortable seeing in the first team on a regular basis. We don't have a squad of 20, 22 players that we can rotate around at will. And that's probably where the likes of Man United have a bit of an advantage over us. And it's where last year we benefited from not being in Europe at all, because we didn't need to worry about that rotation. Whereas now, at a minimum, we've got an extra 8 games to play this year against real top quality opposition. And it could well cost us in the league as well. Eriksen's just hit the crossbar though. And we need to find a way to battle back into this game, because a draw would be okay. A defeat would be quite a significant problem early on, because it puts United 4 points clear of us after just 4 games. And we've kind of promised the board Champions League football again next year. And if we're already blocked a route of winning it to re-qualify for it, I guess we could go and win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League again. But I do worry that our squad's not big enough to compete on multiple fronts. Right, and Dye's going to come off. We'll bring Welsh on to play at right back, and then we're going to bring on, in fact I'm not going to make that first substitution stupid. I'm doing it just because he's on a 6.2, but it's not going to get us back into the game. What might get us back into the game is bringing on Igor Anicic and Michael Vendrig, and then we can do some shifting around in the midfield, get Wagner a little bit further forward, and hopefully Vendrig will be desperate to score against his old team. He did score against United last year. It was one of the 3 goals he scored last season was against United, I believe. It was a terrible back pass and he nipped in and I got all excited. I think I remember the goal. I'm sure you do as well. But we need him to do it again today. Wagner's not playing well. So Brian, can you play deep? Not really. Kaliskan can though, but I guess that midfield 3, it's not the midfield 3 that's going to take on Real Madrid, is it? There is much work to do. I wonder, we might use that counter-attacking. Kaliskan's just equalised. It's his 3rd goal of the season. We've dropped him back into the midfield 3, and he pops up from a set piece with a header. It looked like Vendrig out to Ndai, and Ndai crosses. Kaliskan's there just to nod into the back of the net. And with 7 minutes to go, we're back on level terms. Our tails are up. Can we go and grab a really unlikely winner? We don't deserve to at all. United have torn us apart today. But with just a couple of minutes to go now, we look like we might get a share of the spoils, which, that's a very good result if we manage to pull it off. Vendrig, can he score a really ridiculous winner? He's in a lot of space. He does score a ridiculous winner. Michael Vendrig, for the 2nd season in a row, has scored a very noteworthy goal against Manchester United. This is a lad in form. He's already scored more goals this year than he did last year. He has just kicked that ball very, very hard. We do not deserve it at all, but if we can hold on for the next 20 seconds, we're going to beat Manchester United in a game that we just looked completely out of with 10 minutes to go. Ijo, surely we're not going to make it 3. Ziyech to Sir Brian, back to Ziyech. We don't need to make it 3. We're top of the Premier League, and now we're going to go and play Real Madrid. all of that negative nonsense, don't worry, we're going to win everything. We're going to go to Real Madrid with full-on damage control mode switched on. We're going back to the 4-3-3 counter-attacking system that worked so well in that second leg against Sporting. I know this is a completely different class of game that we're playing against now. Coming up against Jurgen Klopp's Real Madrid team. Oh, it's scary. We've made a couple of changes. Nyhouse comes in for Hamzel because Hamzel's not in our Champions League squad because I'm an idiot and somehow didn't include him. Medor comes into the team for Wagner because we're actually playing with a defensive midfielder now and Medor can do that. And then our front three just changes shape slightly again. It's still Ijo, Sedlacek and Kalaskan, but Kalaskan and Sedlacek move out wide. Ijo is going to be up front on his own as a complete forward, but with these two cutting inside to support. Vendrig probably feeling even more hard done by after his match-winning performance coming on as a sub against Manchester United. But Ijo's a World Cup winner. We're playing against Real Madrid. If we're going for one striker, it can't be Vendrig. He's there on the bench for if we need to bring him on later on in the game, if we're trying to chase an equaliser or something along those lines. I don't know what to expect. This is welcome to the Champions League, Kev. If we manage to not lose this game, I'll be over the moon. I think that's got to be the attitude we go into these Champions League group games with. Try to avoid losing the away games. Try and win the home games. Some might say that's how we should approach all league games, but I can't bring myself to do it in the domestic leagues. Perhaps I shouldn't be doing it in the Champions League. Perhaps I'm asking for trouble by switching to a tactic that's completely different to the one that's got us this far. If we get absolutely thumped by Madrid today, then we won't mess around with this counter-attacking against Dortmund. Sedman's just equalised though with a beautiful free kick. We talked about Ijo being a World Cup winner before the match. Sedman obviously won the World Cup in the summer as well for Argentina, and that's his third goal of the season already. And the Real Madrid goalkeeper, who is also their captain, will be incredibly disappointed that he wasn't able to keep that out, because it's come at him just under waist height, straight at him, and somehow he's sort of fallen over backwards and dropped it into the back of the net as he did it. It was just a little bit rubbish, and hopefully will give us the confidence to push on. Look at that from Sedlacek. He was our top scorer last year. Now he's playing right wing, getting back, making tackles. He's a multifaceted footballer, and Ijo tested the goalkeeper there. Sedman with the corner doesn't beat the first defender, but he's got a second bite at the cherry. It's Medor, £50 million of a midfield talent, buys you a free kick just sort of halfway through the Real Madrid half. And Kalaskan in a lot of space. Why are they giving him that much space? That seems insane, but they seem to handle him well, so perhaps it's not that insane. This is a big test for him. We've just spent an awful lot of money on him. That's awful from Diaz. And I can't believe they've managed to mess up the chance. I don't know what Diaz was thinking there. He was probably thinking, I wish Igor was fit, because I think every Tottenham fan at the time was thinking exactly that. But he gets away with it, and hopefully that's his one piece of nonsense that he'll be allowed. Kevin Thompson's not in the Champions League squad, I don't think. Again, but yeah, Wagner's officially our goalkeeper substitute today, because I didn't feel the need to put 3 goalkeepers in the Champions League squad. I'm starting to realise that might have been a little bit silly now that we've got an injury to one of our goalkeepers. But, you know, that doesn't happen very often. And all those times where you don't get an injury to your goalkeepers, you benefit from having an extra squad space. This is the person who had both his goalkeepers injured at the same time for Tor, and it cost me 10 years of my career trying to battle back from that relegation. So you'd think I'd have learned from my mistakes. I haven't. We have a perfectly good goalkeeper who, by the way, is now a Jamaican international. Kevin Thompson made his debut for Jamaica in the recent international break. And he was very, very proud. I think he's finally accepted, after over a year at Tottenham and not featuring at all, that he's never going to play for England. He's been in a few squads, but never actually played. But he can be Jamaica's #1 for a long, long time now. Right, Vendrig is coming on, as is Alfie Welsh, just to lend a little bit of his experience to the back four. Vendrig is going to come on and try and score another winner. If he gets another winner today, he'll start the next game. There you go. There's your incentive, Michael. Last season's hangover is still making me doubt you, but if you do it again against top quality opposition, I might just have to start considering him my main man. But Madrid are on the attack and Plotnikov clears. Oh, Vendrick does brilliantly to win it, finds Kalaskan, and we're on the counter-attack. Sebman out to Kalaskan again, who still can't beat that right back. He's on a yellow card, but he's got Kalaskan in his pocket, and we need to figure out what to do about that, because the youngster's struggling a little bit. Alfie Welsh has picked up a knock already. He's been on the pitch 7 minutes and already has a potential head injury. He's our captain. He can play on through that. Sedman scored another free kick. And it's another one. I mean, they've not been very good free kicks. This one takes a massive deflection. Look at that. And again, it's straight at their keeper, just below waist height, and he palms it into the back of the net. Their goalkeeper is having an absolute nightmare. I mean, is it Sedman's brother or something? Is he trying to make his mate look good? This is mad. Right, what are we doing for our last change? Undai's on a yellow card, not playing great. Diaz we don't have a replacement for. I wonder if we just take Kalaskan off. He's played a lot of games since arriving. He's not playing well today. He's tired. And we have got plenty of options on the bench that can come on for him. We'll bring on Nole. Nole can come on and just be a winger. Why is everyone up front on attack? That doesn't feel sensible. Especially now we're ahead. Let's make Nole on support. Massive change. We'll drop one of our attacking players down to support. It might make all the difference. I'm not going to mess around going defensive and contain and all that stuff. Counter is fine. Medor's injured now. We've just got to hold on for another couple of minutes, and it will be one of the most ridiculous episodes you'll have ever seen. It'll be almost as ridiculous as the end of last season, and they've missed another absolute sitter. I mean, we are completely mugging Real Madrid at the moment. We don't even deserve to draw this game. They've absolutely outclassed us, but due to some terrible attacking play and some ridiculous goalkeeping play, Plotnikov's just hit the post, but they've got 3 against 1, and Undai on a yellow card gets the tackle in, and we live to fight another day again. We've got another minute and a half to survive. We are completely under the cosh now. And again, really poor attacking play from Real Madrid. We've now just got to survive 45 seconds. Diaz, just kick it really hard. Kick it a long way. Vendrig wins it. Sedlacek picks up the ball. Vendrig again beats his man. Michael Vendrig, he's desperate to grab a goal. He wants to start the next game. He is so determined at the moment. Sedlacek now on the edge of the area. We have beaten Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in our first Champions League group game in the entire 18 years of this save. That was just ridiculous. And those 2 games have given me a lot to think about when it comes to what we might be able to achieve this season. Let me know down in the comments, were they 2 flukes, or have we actually got a chance to win something this year? If you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.